free.
This one for WWE champions. Pay to win like every day, yeah.
I don't play mobile games.
Funny how they still think I'm a broke man.
Then I'm broke.
Even though I be pulling Hogan.
Free.
I spent like 40 grand on a couple thousand pictures of some sweaty men.
One stream day, and it was this podcast followed by Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I find it hilarious because after yesterday's podcast, someone left a comment on the podcast and said, you know, I don't believe all this discussion. You've been having all this discussion recently about the fact that a lot of people come to your streams and watch your podcast or watch your other style of content, but not your gameplay. But I believe that your podcast is just a waiting room where people are just sitting there waiting for the gameplay to begin. That was their actual comment on my video. And so I responded to it. And I said, that's funny because why is it that yesterday during the podcast, I had over 400 viewers. And the moment that I turned off the podcast and booted up Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, we went down to 200 viewers. There is no waiting room. People are here for the show. In fact, yesterday, most people supported the stream during the podcast. When Final Fantasy VII booted, I got a few super chats and some gifted memberships, and that was great. But no tips came in whatsoever. Zero. In a 3-hour gameplay stream, not a single tip. So what you're saying is false. It's a false narrative based on the fact that some people don't want to believe that I'm good at stuff other than gaming. Like, and not to say that they think I'm good at gaming, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, in some people's minds, they think so one-dimensionally that they think the only thing Phil could ever have notoriety for is his gameplay footage and being bad at games, right? There's no way anyone would ever want to tune into his podcast and listen to him talk about topics. There's no way people would want to see him react. There's no way they would ever find value in anything he does except making fun of his gameplay. It's such a false fucking narrative. There's no substantiation for that. In fact, the evidence is totally pushing in the other direction. Us having this fun discussion, us talking about current events and game news, us going back and forth and just being social with each other is ending up being more popular these days than my gameplay. Now, I'm not saying that's not going to change because we've got big games coming up. I mean, Rise of the Ronin probably is going to do pretty good. And then over the next few months, there's some big ones coming up that I think people will enjoy. It's going to bring back the attention to the channel because this is stagnated. Like, my views are down. My attention is down on the channel because I'm playing 3 fucking RPGs, and you cannot maintain a YouTube presence playing 3 RPGs unless you're already giant. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. So I know the gameplay is going to bounce back, okay? But the point I'm making here is the future is diversification. The future is going in different directions. No, I'm not giving up on gaming, but I need to start thinking outside the box and doing other things than just gaming every day because it's not going to always work that well. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, yesterday, podcast went pretty good, and then when I went to play Final Fantasy VII, I lost half the audience, right? And it kind of sucks because I like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've told you guys right now, it's pretty much my front runner for Game of the Year. But I mean, we're in March, so we have the rest of the year to go, and there's probably going to be many other contenders for Game of the Year. But I think it's the best game I've played this year so far. Although now that I played it yesterday, I don't know, and let me explain. So yesterday, we're in the Junon region, and the Junon region, much like the Grasslands region before it, has a big open world area with a ton of content to do. It's got rare boss fights, rare monster fights, these pools of, I don't even know what the hell it is, some kind of supposed to be Mako